Good morning, Team 101. Greetings to everyone. So, we want to quickly discuss something that is very key to us all, everyone, especially those of us doing business. And it's very key. Is really about how to grow up spiritually in all our dealings in the workplace. I believe that one of the first things we will have to fight, and cautiously fight, in growing up spiritually in the workplace is to lightly esteem every other thing and greatly esteem salvation in our hearts. As we all know, in the workplace, there are many glories that can easily latch on to our souls. Some of them is being the best so and so, being the best architect, being the best engineer, being the best software developer in your company. That's a glory that can stick to your soul and rob you of salvation that should be your lifetime goal, even in that seeming job or business you are doing. So basically many other things rob us of salvation, heart states, heart conditions. Some of us are secretly wanting to travel to Canada. It's just a thought away, and made several other thoughts, but first and foremost, one thing we need to carefully, guard in our hearts is the place of salvation, even in our everyday dealings in our workplace. And secondly, which is the main thing, is that our workplace is spiritual, and we ought to always approach it spiritually. If Paul, for instance, could be talking about spiritual blessings in heavenly places in Christ, that's in Ephesians, talking about spiritual blessings in heavenly places in Christ here and there, then up until the last chapter, he started talking about the relationship between servants and masters. Okay, just like employee and employer. Okay, so it means there's a whole lot tied to, there's a whole lot about salvation that is tied to your everyday dealings in your workplace. And we have to constantly acknowledge that, there's a whole lot. Every relationship. Now, scriptures only discusses servant and master, or as far as we might commonly know, but we also know that this cuts across not just your masters, but even colleagues. That relationship, that colleague that always gets on your nerves, that colleague that's always wanting to put you down so that he or she will shine, that colleague that that always brags about everyday work, everything, that brags about everything and makes you down. That is your key to spiritual growth. What is spiritual growth? Physical growth is basically about acquiring the stature of Christ. So, for instance, if I can give an example, I once had a colleague at work, a lady who I felt was always competitive, and always wanted to outshine me in whatever she was doing, just as a summary because of time, and several times we were close to having clashes, and I would find God telling me that What if she's your wife? Will you keep malice with her? And all through that time, I found some grace to always apologize and all of that. And I found that there was an allocation of patience, and forbearance that was supposed to come to me just by that relationship, And guess what? This colleague had to travel out, and imagine if I didn't harness that life from that relationship, So essentially, our workplace is spiritual, and we ought to acknowledge it and approach it as such. Thank you for listening, and God bless.